feel there's so much potential at the high school level for female athletes to start to learn this barbell for injury prevention, performance?
Yeah, I would say, in looking at the landscape of college or high school athletics for females, and I would say even more specific, club sports.
Mm-hmm.
You've got kids that are coming out of, let's say they're the cream of the crop, whether it's basketball, tennis, volleyball, whatever sport, golf. You've got kids that have basically been trained like an Olympic athlete from when they're like 10 to 12 years old till when they come to you. And most of them are really overskilled at their sport, but they're underdeveloped or underskilled physically in strength and speed and how to change a direction.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get kids in, you've got to put that filter on when you're looking at key performance indicators. Like, what are the key traits or the key fundamental movement patterns that you need to enhance to help them be more healthy at their sport? Because if you come in and try to like load somebody that maybe they've been, let's say, for example, like a tennis guy, he's been playing tennis 10 years, man. His hips are off, hamstrings, one's short, one's long, one hip flexor's tight, one's his shoulders are rounded. If you start really loading a guy up like that before he's ready, he's gonna get injured on the court more.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he needs more unilateral or contralateral work, more postural stuff before you start kind of load. Maybe the way you load him is not axial loading. Maybe it's below the lumbar. I don't know. So I think you've got to just keep that context in your lens of when you're looking at them, of like how you prescribe exercises. So it can't be a cookie cutter approach. Everybody needs a squat. Everybody needs a lunge. Everybody needs a press, pull, brace, pull, press, whatever. But like how you kind of prescribe for different people would be based off maybe their movement screens you see with them. So I think that's kind of what's made the difference for me. So with these kids, because most of them haven't lifted when you get them.
Yeah,
I'd say 90% of them.
It's pretty crazy. But I'm coming from football. Yeah, we certainly see the opportunity with those high school level, especially the female athletes, for our private sector coaches who own their own facilities, encourage them to connect with those club sports, and then selling performance, selling injury prevention, so they can get the kids in there, even if it's just taking the warm up and then putting in some isostability, some unilateral action and movement in there, twisting, bending, lunging, anything to get them out of that so specified movement patterns and set them free and unlock their athleticism.
Yeah, coaches struggle with that. Sport coaches, I feel like they see, well, we've been practicing 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. They need more specific motions from whatever sport you come up with. No, they've been doing that for 16 hours a week. They don't need any of that, actually.
Yeah.
That's like, our sports scientist, Travis, always talks about this, but it's like, think of like a video game, right? If all you do is your sport, you're hitting that same button like the fire button on the video game.
It's great.
I'm just crushing that button. Hey man, we've been hitting this button for 4 months. Well, let's do some more of it. Let's add more of that. Let's hit that button. How do you think that button's going to be? It's going to be broke here soon, and it's not going to be repairable. So you've got to find different stimuluses and buttons that you're not hitting the same thing, so their body does stay strong and more resilient and robust when they do get on the court. So I think that's something that sometimes coaches just don't see that,
Yeah, best opportunity I had was the warm-up, the practice warm-up, because then coaches, we need 10 minutes here. And then you try to just say, hey, I'll take ownership of it. And then you do more athletic things, dynamic pillars through different planes of motion, orientations to help get what they're not getting and protect them, really. So you're enhancing athleticism. In our world, that's injury prevention, becoming a better athlete because you're a better mover.